Good morning, here we are again, my third stream as an IRL streamer, and I'm starting where I left off last week. I am at Tower Bridge, and I'm going to take you on a walk through London, through the city today. Weather's a bit cloudy this morning, it's a bit on the chilly side, but it's not too bad. Right, so over there's the Tower of London. I'm going to walk over that way and we'll take a walk around there, and I'm going to walk over Tower Bridge now with you. Good morning, everyone. Today they reckon it's going to be a real scorcher here, so I don't intend staying around in London too long this morning. As you can see, it's very cloudy in the skies. The sun's come up, but it's not as warm as they forecast. They forecast 18 degrees this morning, but unfortunately it's a little bit chillier than that. Hence why I've got my fleece on at the moment, or hoodie. These early morning walks are nice in London because there's not so many tourists around, and it's quieter, and you get to see things a bit clearer than what you would with many people around. All fingers and thumbs at the moment. For some reason my stream buddy's not showing me my chat. Right, here we go. Oh, that's unusual. I'm getting follows, but I'm getting nothing in my chat. I've got nothing at all on my chat. I can't see. I have to sort this out. Right, this is Tower Bridge, and that is the Port of London. When Tower Bridge was built, the requirement was that tall ships still had to get into this, what they called the Port of London here. And to do that, they had to build a bridge they could lift. lot of traffic cross this bridge. Reason being is because it's the only bridge between here and the Thames estuary. There are no other bridges further down. So this is the first bridge they need to cross from South London to North London. So consequently it gets quite busy. For some reason I'm not getting any chat messages now. Whether that's because no one's on and I'm just talking to myself, or my chat's not working, so I'm going to have to find somewhere to stop in a minute and have a look. But that over there is the City of London, all those tall buildings. Neon swirls, thank you for following. Why am I getting no chat messages? Whoa. Right, the bit we've just crossed, this bit here, is the bit that lifts up. Ah! Looks like I'm getting stuff in chat at last. Good morning, Cornwall. How are you doing? Thank you, first time chatter. Your first time chatter. Thank you for confirming that I'm getting chat now. Maybe it's because no one was on, I won't get anything. A bit disconcerting. Right, just to let you know, I'm in London, I'm walking London. I do this quite often. Just an early morning thing I like doing, so I'm usually up by 4 AM most times in UK time. And so I just get up and get out and have a look, see what's going on and walk around, and someone suggested to me, why don't I stream it? So here I am streaming what I do. As you can see, traffic's building up already. It's not quite rush hour yet, but it's still early morning. It's 6:50 here in London. I've just walked across Tower Bridge, iconic bridge, built in 1895, I believe. It looks like it's a stone structure, but in actual fact it's all steel and iron girders with a brick fascia or stone fascia. This to the left of me is the Tower of London. The Tower of London was founded in 1066 when William the Conqueror, after the Battle of Hastings, became William I of England, and he set up here. But what you see is not the original Norman part. The only part of the Norman bit you can't see from this angle, but is in the middle, which is called the White Tower, and that's actually a Norman keep style structure, square with 4 towers in each corner. The rest of it was built later on, added on in the 12th and 13th centuries. And today it's His Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London. And in there is the famous crown jewels that belong to the monarchy, and they're kept locked up in there. Probably the most securest place in London. I'm just going to walk round the outskirts of the tower. I can't get in there because it's too early in the morning, it's not open. But if you are in London, it's worth a visit. It's an interesting place. Good morning, Pete Pedals. Thank you for following. It's very kind of you. Now, this is my second stream in London. The last one I walked along the south bank of the Thames. Today I'm going to take you around through what is London city proper. It's called the City of London, and it is where London was, where the original London in 50 AD was built by the Romans, called Londinium. Morning, Pete Pedal. As you can see, the Tower of London is surrounded by a moat, which is no longer flooded. And it goes all the way around the castle, or the Tower of London, it's called. I'm going to take you down here. Hopefully I'll keep the signal. Oh, you're in London in 2 weeks. Where are you from, Pete? Cornwall. You're wondering what 63 means. Well, it was originally my height. Well, it is my height, 6'3". But it's also my birth year, 63, and consequently this year it's also my age, 63. It's a triple whammy this year with the 63. There's a case of putting it on there because someone had already got Giant Ray. Leeds, up north. I live north of London, but not that far north. I'm only 30 miles outside of London. If you look back at my VODs, you'll see that the first stream I done was in my hometown. Hampshire born and bred. I'm Kent born and bred. I'm a man of Kent, as they call it, born on the correct side of the River Medway. I lived in Kent for 39 years. I just decided that it needed a change, and I moved up to the county of Hertfordshire. And they say Kent is the Garden of England, but having seen Hertfordshire now for many, many years, it's certainly a lot more gardeny than what Kent is. Morning, Trap. Nice for you to come in. Oh. Oh. It's I'm still getting used to this trap stereo. It's something I'm not used to doing, all this. Unlike, I'll probably get used to it as I go on, but I've just need an extra pair of hands. Oh, that didn't work. I still got to perfect the shout out. Anyway, people, if you want to see someone who lives in Holland and does a lot of streaming, IRL, follow Trap Stereo. I watch his streams, but I tend to lurk more than I chat because I'm not a real chatter like most. So this, as you say, is still the Tower of London, and we're walking around it. That building, that pointy, that's sticking up above there, that's the Shard of Glass. That's the tallest building in London. It was the tallest building in Europe. I don't know if it still is the case. Oh, thankfully trap. I don't have to do that anymore. Work. Have a good day at work. Don't work too hard. Take care, mate. Whew. Oh, now the clouds cleared, that sun's got quite warm. The forecast today is going to be a real scorcher here in London. So I don't intend staying down here too long today. Probably about an hour and a half I do walking, and then I shall go. This part of London is the North Bank of London. It's not officially called the North Bank, but it's on the north side of the River Thames. And the area is all part of the city, which is where all the financial district is of London. Am I mod for Era? No, Era. No, I'm not mod for Era. She's gratefully bestowed me a VIP. I'm a VIP on her channel, but I'm not a mod. I support Era quite a bit because I love what she does. Her streaming is just fantastic. If you want to see great IRL, then follow Era. It's Era, IRA_ABA. And she's cycling. She's taking us first cycle trip celebrating her 10,000 followers. She's impressive, very impressive. Right, the ship you can see in the background is a light cruiser. People call it a battleship, but it's not a battleship, it's a light cruiser, and it's the HMS Belfast. Built in the Second World War, fought in the Second World War, and also fought in the Korean War. It was used in the D-Day landings in France as a backup. And in 1967, when it retired, it was brought up the Thames through Tower Bridge, which obviously had to raise for it, and been moored here ever since, and it's a museum. Access to it is via the South Bank. Often you'll see cruise liners will come up here, and they will moor up alongside it. That over there is Shard again. Building in the background is it's Guy's Hospital. The first bridge up there is London Bridge. It's turning out to be quite a nice morning. Going back there is a view of Tower Bridge. Yes, you'll see me quite often on Era's channel, Pete. I'm a great supporter of hers. I love just watching her channel. It's fantastic. And it's partly her and a couple other streamers that have given me the inspiration to do this. It's nice when chat help out sometimes. Sometimes it can be a bit chaotic with chat. I've seen it in many channels where chat just bombards the streamer instead of leaving the streamer to do what the streamer wants to do, and only help out when the streamer asks for help. It would be much better if chat was to take a back seat sometimes. But I can understand in the moment they get overzealous and they want to help out. It's not always easy, as I found out, because this is only my third stream, and I found out with chat, there is such a big delay in me saying something and then chat getting back to me. It takes some getting used to. I just don't know how some of the streamers do it, because I struggle with it. In fact, there's delays. It's something that's it could be as much as 30 seconds. Which is quite a lot when you consider if you had a lot of people talking at once to you. So, right. The building directly opposite there, with the open arched area in the middle, that is Hayes Galleria. Originally that was Hayes Wharf, and that was one of the many wharves that were in the Port of London here, which would have ships unloading, and that was why Tower Bridge had to have the raising bridge to allow such tall ships to come in to the port here to unload. Of course, nowadays no ships bring anything into London. It's all flowing in by planes, or it's brought over by Arctics, containers, or container trains or ships, which call at ports like Felixstowe outside of London. It's turned out to be a beautiful morning. It's certainly warming up. It's only 7 o'clock and it feels like it's midday. Now, I've worked in London. I worked in London for 25 years, and I've seen this transform. I mean, this was all derelict buildings along here, and all those tall buildings weren't there. It's all sprung up over the years. When I start getting to the city, I'm afraid it might get a bit noisy because of the traffic, but hopefully not too noisy for you. All right, I'm going to take a walk away from the river now. Where I'm aiming to go now is a place called Monument. And the monument, the tall column which has been put up to commemorate the fire of London, which happened in 1666. There's true peat, some areas have been decimated. It's funny, I was talking to a guy just before I came on stream about London and how it's changed, and he was saying to me how all the area around Tower Bridge was a bomb site for many, many years. It had been bombed in the war and they just never built on it. But somehow I've got to cross this busy road. There we go. one of the many bike lanes in London. Bicycles in London weren't very popular at one point because London was always considered a bad place to cycle. But now there's bike routes all over London, and they reckon now that there's more bikes cycle through London during the rush hour than there are vehicles. Right, coming in through here now is where I was telling you about the monument. Believe it or not, it was built in 1677 as a monument to the Great Fire of London. It's 202 feet tall, and the reason why it's 202 feet tall is because where it's positioned, it is 202 feet from the site of the fire, where the fire started. They say in a place called Pudding Lane in a bakery. Then, of course, all the houses were made of wood, thatched roofs and everything, and it just caught light and it set fire to a great area of London, but not London as you imagine today, a lot smaller. You can go up the monument. I've only been up it once, and that was when I was a kid, and it cost me 2p to go to the top of it. I dread to think what it costs now. And there is a good view from up there. It's very daunting because the cage goes right to the ground, and if you're a bit wary of heights like I am in buildings, it's a bit shaky up there for you. Right, I'm now going to take you into the city proper. If you ever want to come to the monument, there's a station called Monument Station on the Underground, which brings you literally right outside where the monument is. The City of London, say, is the financial district of London. Yes, Pete, you're right about cyclists in London, actually. A lot of them don't obey the rules of the road. A lot of them jump red lights when people are trying to cross, so they get a bad name for themselves by doing that, by their own actions. I've cycled through London many times. It's all right cycling through London. It's not an issue. Just have to be wary, like you do in any other city in the UK. This street's called Grace Church. 20th century world. Thank you for following. Welcome on in. I'll take a sideline here. I'm going to go up the street here, which is called Lime Street. I'm hoping I can find Leadenhall. So I'll take you inside Leadenhall if it's open. Good morning, Heavily Charmed. Welcome on in. Early rise for you in Scotland? Oh, Sturgey. No, I'm not Slacky UK. Deny all knowledge of that. Now, whilst we were in the financial district of London, this used to be an area for markets and stuff. And as you can see, there's all these nice little arcades around here. And this here is taking you into what is called Leadenhall. Originally this was a meat, poultry and game market. Leadenhall dates back to 1321. Originally it was a very heavily clad stone building. It got damaged during the Great Fire of London and got rebuilt and then got damaged again, and then they rebuilt this in 1881. This is Leadenhall. As you can see. Very what now? So it used to be a market for poultry, meat and game, and they would hang them outside the shops. And if you look up above the shops, you can see the framework, which is where they used to hang all the meat and birds and whatever from to sell. Obviously nowadays it doesn't happen. And today this is more of a place for boutique shops, as they call them, expensive shops that are independent. Where are you, Sturgey? Where do you actually come from? Because if it's 2:15 AM, I'm trying to think where that is. Over it's in the States? Hey Sam, welcome on in. You will find you find me here in the City of London. I started at Tower Bridge and I'm walking my way through the city for a short walk. I need to go over here. That timing. Now, this is Cornwall, and it leads to the original Royal Exchange where the stock market used to be, and also where the Bank of England is, which I will point out to you in a while. Having worked in London for 25 years, I know this area quite well because I used to, on my breaks, used to come across and take a walk through here. Canada, Trevor in Canada. I see what you mean about colonies. It's funny because I was born in a place called Chatham, Kent, here in England. And there's a Chatham, Kent in Canada, which I found quite interesting. Obviously a remnant of the colonies and probably something in connection with probably William Pitt, because he had a big connection with Chatham in Kent. You take Carney back. Funny enough, he was the I can't think what they call him. But he was in charge of the Bank of England for a while. I don't know, somehow you put up with the weather out in LA because I don't like it when it's hot. Typical Englishmen prefer it when it's cool and that. I can't stand this. I mean, it's quite warm here now. I don't know what the temperature actually is, but it's quite warm. And it's set to be up into the high 30s today. It's going to be like that for the next 3 days apparently. This is what I like about London, all this different architecture that's around. And the fact it's still here and it's not pulled down. It's amazing how much of this survived the Second World War, because London was heavily blitzed. No doubt a lot of it was rebuilt. So that on the right above the shops weren't there originally, is part of the Royal Exchange. Take you over. By the way, jaywalking's perfectly illegal in the UK. And that there is the Royal Exchange. It's not the original building. The original building was burnt down in the Great Fire of London. And then it was built up again, and then it got burnt down again. And then this was finally built in 1840. It's called the Royal Exchange. It used to be the stock exchange where everything was done, but nowadays it's boutique shops again and stuff like that. It's not used as offices at all. Stock exchange is further towards St Paul's in London. Now this building here, this building is the Bank of England. No coins are minted there, the coins are minted elsewhere. I think some minted in Wales somewhere. If the coins are still minted at all. We just have digital money. But that is a 17th century build. It's a very big building, very secure. Has an outer wall. And then we move on. "30 degrees in Scotland." God, that's warm for Scotland. Yeah, giant. That is very warm in Scotland. Oh. This is going to be the building there with the columns. That is Mansion House. Mansion House is where the Lord Mayor of London resides. and that was built in the 1740s. Let's cross the road. And of course the Bank of England is in the famous Threadneedle Street, which is well known in financial institutions. That's a huge building, very secure. I have no idea what the building in the middle in the V is there. It's obviously a very modern building. I have seen the BBC broadcast the weather from the top of that building. But it's very modern looking, but blends in quite well with the architecture in this area. And this is common in London. Churches hidden between buildings. There's hundreds and hundreds of churches in London. I'm hoping I'm walking the right way. As you can see, there's a lot of trees in London, and there is one particular tree that they've developed that thrives on pollution, believe it or not. It's called the London Plane, and you'll find them all over London. Grow quite well. As you can see, it's 7:30 in the morning and there's a lot of people in London already. It's not like the old days where it was 9 to 5. People now have flexi hours and they start all different hours. Some cases the sooner in, the sooner they can go home at the end of the day. Fortunately, the job I had, I was never that lucky to have a 9 to 5 job. I just ended up doing shift work most of my life. Started off as 8-hour shifts and then ended up being 12-hour shifts, which has its plus and minuses. I personally think 12-hour shifts have got more minuses than pluses. At the church you can see emerging now is St Mary Le Bow. The St Mary Le Bow church is what is connected to Cockneys in London. Now they say to be a true Cockney you have to be born within the sound of Bow bells, sorry. And this is the church that's got the Bow Bell in, and if you can hear those bells when you're born, you're a Cockney. Talking of Cockneys, I don't know if you're still here, Sam, but I remember you saying that my accent was estuary English. I did look it up. I looked it up when I got home, and it's not actually an accent. It's a term that's used to describe a mix of Cockney and Southeast London accent. And apparently, when I read it, it described me to a T, because I've often been told I sound Cockney. I've often been told I've got a southeastern London accent. And funny enough, I was born around the estuaries of London, so it all mixes in. This road we're walking along is Cheapside, and it takes us out to St Paul's. I think you're all familiar with St Paul's. Dead End Alan, thank you for following. That's very kind of you. Welcome on in. Your ancestor owned a pub in Southampton. Really? That's interesting. One of my ancestors owned a pub in Tenton. In fact, they owned a brewery in Tenton, in Kent. They started off as a pub owner and then expanded and brewed their own beers, as they would have done back then. Because beer in England, I don't know if you're aware, but beer in England was brewed initially not for its alcoholic properties like it is today. It was brewed because the water in them days was very, very poor, and by brewing beer they could keep it, and it was a refreshing drink basically. But yeah, my ancestors owned a pub, went on to own a brewery, and the brewery was finally bought out by the famous Shepherd and Name of Faversham. And just emerging above the trees to my left, you can see the dome. There's St Paul's. Take you into St Paul's and have a look. Now, St Paul's was built in 1710. And it still stands today, built by famous Sir Christopher Wren. Stands at 365 feet tall, 111 metres I think it is. This is what I like about London. Amidst all that traffic and noise and city, you get beauties like this in the middle of it. Again, I suppose this is like many of the churches I was saying in London that get buried amongst the buildings. It's exactly what St Paul's is. This remarkably stayed intact throughout the Second World War. I believe it got hit once by a firebomb, which was put out quite quickly. But this stayed intact, while everything around it virtually got obliterated. And that's because the Germans needed it as a landmark to find their way to London. So they knew they were in the centre of London, because back then, of course, didn't have GPS, didn't have radar as such. And having an iconic building like that right bang in the centre of London is a brilliant landmark to keep. So it never really got bombed. It's a fantastic building. I don't know what is more iconic of London. I don't know if it's the Tower Bridge or Nelson's Column or the Houses of Parliament or Buckingham Palace. Well, I personally think St Paul's is the iconic structure of London. The building is just fantastic. It's magnificent, isn't it, Pete? It just astounds me. Yeah. It's part of the reason why I like to keep walking around London. I keep discovering new things all the time. I mean, this isn't new, but there are things I discover. I just take a back street and I come across buildings I've never seen before, old buildings, and it's just fantastic. Now we're coming around to the front of St Paul's, and I'll spin round in a minute and show you the view. Probably the view most people have seen around the world of St Paul's, because this is where the entrance is. And there we go. This is the main entrance. And that is where funerals, royal weddings all take place. I believe Winston Churchill, I'm not sure. There's a lot take place at Westminster Abbey as well. It's just a magnificent building. Sites like this, I say to myself, I'm lucky to be living where I live. A lot of people poo-poo poo-poo England and the UK and saying how bad it is. It's not bad at all. They just need to get out of their houses and go and see it. It's a beautiful place. I love it. Yeah, that's right, Peter. People poo-poo these places, and they base it on an isolated incident they've seen on the news or something. Basically, an isolated incident they see on the news, and they say, "Oh, England's a bad place, and it's terrible to live in." It's not at all. Not at all. And it's not just England. Other countries are like it the same as well. I mean, people say that about New York. Now, I've been to New York. I've been there. Used to go there every year for quite a long time, and I love the place. And to be honest, I feel safer in New York than I do in this country, in London. But London's not bad. London's still safe. Just so you're aware of your surroundings and who's around you. Just like anywhere in the world. Oh, the sun's hot. It's right, everywhere does have bad places, you're right. I'm going to walk down towards the Millennium Bridge. In fact, if you was with me on the last stream, I think I came across the Millennium Bridge. But I'm not going to go across it, I'm going to go just walk down towards it and then cut down onto the river. This area back in 20 years ago got bad press. Prince Charles, was, as he was then, he's now king, stood up and spoke a lot about this place, about how bad the architecture was and it wasn't in keeping with St Paul's. I don't think it's that bad. It is modern. Nice view of St Paul's. So this is my third stream. I am enjoying doing them. I'm enjoying talking to people and explaining about where I'm going and having you accompany me on my trips. But I just don't know how other streamers stream for as long as they do, because I'm knackered after an hour. I think it's the setup I've got. I need to change my setup so I've got the phone in a better place so I can read it and my camera. I might try sticking the camera on my chest, see if that makes a difference. Now in Queen Victoria Street. The brick building on the right hand side down there is the Scientology building, some religious cult. The bridge in front is the famous Millennium Bridge, nicknamed the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge because when it first opened, because of the number of people that walked across it, it caused it to start swaying. They closed it shortly after they opened it and did some additions to it, put balances on the base of it, and now it's perfectly all right, no longer wobbles, but the name has stuck, unfortunately. Yeah, 70 I remember it. I was working in London at the time, I thought it quite amazing. And it was just purely the number of people on the bridge and the motion of them stepping as they were walking along. It would just cause an oscillation in the bridge and it just started swaying. The building opposite is the Tate Modern Gallery. Originally a 1930s power station. It's been converted. Nice view to my left there of the Shard. The Shard overlooks London Bridge Station, so if you ever want to visit the Shard, it's literally at London Bridge Station. The footprint of it actually sits in the station, part of it. And you've got a lot of flats over there, apartments, posh word for flats. Not cheap. Not cheap at all. More mixture of apartment and office buildings. And that there is Blackfriars Bridge. Blackfriars Bridge it's the railway bridge, and it's got the station built on it. It's the only station in London, and I believe in the country, that the entire station is over a river. Self-sufficient because it's got solar panels in the entire roof. And famously appeared in Mission Impossible when Tom Cruise ran across it. For that film they wanted to do more things. They wanted to jump down on trains and everything in the platforms, but the railway company refused it because it would portray the railway in an unsafe manner, so it never occurred. There are Uber boats on this stretch of the Thames, which take you up and down to Greenwich and the Thames Barrier. And just like the buses and the underground, it's just tap in, tap out. Don't need a special card for it, you can use any credit, debit card for it. And as always in London, journeys are capped, so after so many journeys, if you don't pay any more, it's free for that day. Yes, you're right, Pete. He did. He jumped out the building, which I can't see. I might see when I get to the end here, but the building was to the right of us at the bridge, and he jumped between the buildings and he gammied his leg, didn't he? I remember seeing an outtake. What cell phone network is good for streaming in London? Well, I'm quite surprised because I've seen streamers in London have difficulties with the signal. Now, I've not noticed my signal drop out at all. The only thing I will say is that I'm using 2 SIM cards bonded together. I've got an EE unlimited data card and a 3 unlimited data card. Both are 5G capable, and they're bonded together. So I easily get my 5,000 bit rate that I'll need streaming, and I've never had any issues with it here in London, but bear in mind I've only been streaming here twice. It's a fairly solid signal. I have to point out that the EE card I've got is a special EE card. It's one that doesn't get throttled. I pay a little bit extras for it so that even in busy areas it will still have priority for data, whereas the ordinary SIM cards will get throttled. Three, by the way, is also Vodafone now, so they've joined forces. Now it was somewhere around here, these buildings here, that he was on about, Pete, about Tom Cruise breaking his leg. It was one of these buildings here where he did the jump. On top somewhere. Yeah, as for cell phone network here in London, I can honestly say I've not noticed any disconnects. I'm also surprised my camera stayed up this time. On my first stream, the camera kept dropping out. So it seems to be holding out now. Right, chat. The ugly part where you see me. Right, thank you for being with me today. That's my short trip. I shall do another trip in London. I was thinking of doing it tomorrow morning, but it depends on the weather. Oh, Alien 102, thank you for following. Very kind of you. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for that. It's nice getting compliments. It's certainly not my job. I'm retired. I don't have to do this as a job. It's just something I thought, or people have said to me, just bring chat along with you and chat with them, and they can see what you're seeing, and a lot of people will follow you. So, let's have a look. As I say, I will try and do another walk in London soon, hopefully this week. I want to do it tomorrow, but I say that they forecast really hot weather. I've got to learn to finish this properly. Anyway, thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining the stream today. If you haven't followed, please follow. It'd be nice, nice of you to follow me. Thank you to all of you that were in chat today. It's very kind of you. All right, but thank you for following. Oh, another one. Thank you. Hello, Finland. It's very kind of you. Ruby Cuba, thank you for being here. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Captain Sam. I assume it's Captain Sam. Thank you, Sam. It's nice to see you here because I see you a lot as I do Ruby Cuba in Era's chat. And Heavenly Charm, it's an honour having you here because I've seen you in Sarah's channel a lot, and I just think you're one of the nicest people in our community. So thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for being here. I won't raid because I don't know how to raid yet. I keep